In Justice League Dark, we find ourselves in New York City as the young John Constantine is being stopped by a security guard asking him what's his business in the US. But as John tells the guard just a little bit of drunken debauchery and some nasty black magic, the guard subsequently stamps his passport and lets him in. But Constantine is actually in search of knowledge to expand his magic arsenal, so he makes his way to the Oblivion Bar in New York City. Now the security guard shows John a blank piece of paper, but John can easily see the name Abraxas as it's just a cheap conjuring trick to keep the riffraff out. Upon entering the bar, John sees the man he's here to see, Nick Necro. But as John approaches Nick tells John to chill as the show is about to start. John looks to the stage and he sets his eyes on Zatanna, whom he would describe as a stunning backwards talking goth princess. Her act was nearly 40 minutes long and John didn't blink once that entire time. Zatanna hugs Nick as apparently these two are dating. But as Zatanna asks Nick who's his friend, Nick tells her nobody, he was just leaving. Now John is like, actually I wasn't fucking going anywhere, but Zatanna tells him to fuck off. Now as Nick and Zatanna make their way towards the door, a man wielding a dagger of cold flame attempts to assassinate Nick, but John Constantine is there to stop him. Nick thanks John for saving him and he tells him that guy was from the cult of the cold flame. Now reluctantly, Nick agrees to take John under his wing, but as Zatanna asks John if American girls really fall for that accent, he tells her only the ones with good taste as he lights her cigarette. Nick takes John and Zatanna everywhere, showing them the world beneath the world. Together, they stand against all the nightmares that try to eat their way into the fringes of reality. John and Zatanna are young and inexperienced, but Nick Necro is always there to catch them anytime they mess up. Nick Necro would brand John and Zatanna with his own rune, making them a coven of 3. But as time went on, Necro changed as he became obsessed with the idea of ultimate knowledge. He was obsessed with the fabled book of magic as he kept digging himself deeper and deeper and deeper. John describes him as a junkie who couldn't get his fix, and there's nothing worse than a junkie that can't get their fix. As John and Zatanna stand on the rooftop, they talk to each other as they're both concerned about Nick Necro. Zatanna asks John why he stayed. John explains at first it was for Necro to teach him as much as he could, but at this point he feels as though he's pretty much caught up with Necro. John looks at Zatanna and says he's found other reasons to stick around as the two of them hug and share a kiss. But of course, Nick Necro comes out of fucking nowhere to see these two kissing on the rooftop. Nick says he should have known he'd be replaced one day, but he goes on to tell John that he doesn't care anymore, he has his books to keep him company. After that, Nick Necro disappeared, and John thought he had seen the last of him until one night he received a phone call from Nick. Nick tells John he's in trouble as the cult of Cold Flame has him and there's no one else he can turn to.